Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel Growing with God. Today, I want to break down the verse 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 17, which reads, "Pray without ceasing." So, at first, St. Paul's words here might seem strange because how are we exactly supposed to pray to God without stopping at all? Won't our knees get tired after so much kneeling, or won't our tongues grow weary from all that talking? But St. Paul wasn't actually saying that we should always be on the ground, literally kneeling to God 24/7, but that we should continue to look to God in our tribulation and never one day cave into, what Satan is waiting for us to do. And Jesus Christ gave us some similar advice in Luke chapter 18 verse 1, telling us that we should always continue to pray and never faint or lose hope. This is because the Christian faith is full of all kinds of trials and tribulations because, Satan is a roaring lion seeking to tear our faith away from us, according to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 and 9. And we should never lose hope in God's promises, but always try to look to God for vindication and deliverance from Satan. Jesus said further that when we see this tribulation and anguish come, we should look up, because our redemption is drawing nearer and nearer, if we read Luke chapter 21, verse 28. But if you're like me and you learn better when you see things in examples and stories, then follow me into the fascinating story of Abraham in the Bible to explore just how exactly we can pray without ceasing. Did you know that Abraham waited 25 years for God to bring the promised child to Isaac? Yes, an entire quarter of his life, and a long quarter at that. And you might wonder why Abraham didn't eventually tell himself that God perhaps wasn't serious about his promise. But that's where the magic happens, because Abraham learned to be patient over time and let God worry about whether he could bring his promise to pass. James, having considered just how essential patience is based on personalities like Abraham and others in the Bible, gave us this exact advice. He said, "But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So, in whatever situation you're in, learn to pin your hopes on God and keep fighting for what you're hoping for. Are you looking to get married? Tell God about your desires and never stop fighting for the wife or husband you wish to marry. Don't listen to those people who tell you to remain single and make more money. I mean, what's the point of that if there's no one to share it with? The point is, you'll eventually find someone that fits your wishes, and that will be the woman that God has given you. Or are you employed and are looking for work? Continuously pray the prayer of Jacob in Genesis chapter 28 verses 20 to 22 and tell God that you are looking for food to eat and a shelter to stay in so that you can serve him comfortably. God will not leave you stranded. David, after having walked with God for many years, said in his old age that God will always feed his children with what they need. He said, "I have been young," said the great king, "and now I am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread." That is Psalms chapter 37, verse 25. Or, what about marital crisis that we might be in? Keep telling your heavenly Father that you understand that Satan is looking to break up the marriage and scatter the family so that God's laws can be broken. And always ask God to restore the peace at home. It might not happen immediately as you might hope for, but God has a way of settling all disputes at some point in the future. Remember that all things work together for good, as St. Paul said. And finally, what if you are like Jesus or Lot and hate the way the world is becoming more and more wicked and corrupt and ignorant day by day? Then continue to pray the Lord's Prayer, that God should do his will on earth as it is in heaven. God said it himself in Isaiah chapter 62 verses 6 and 7 that we should never stop praying this to him until he's washed the last bit of evil off this planet, symbolized by Jerusalem. "Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest, till he establish, and till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth." Always remember Jesus' advice to watch and pray in Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Focus on how the events around you are a fulfillment of prophecy, and keep track of how the signs Christ mentioned in that famous Matthew chapter 24 are fulfilling in our time. Never forget that Jesus Christ told us ahead of time when he would take office as king and begin to rule, and we would enter a period of great tribulation, as it was described in that Matthew chapter 24. So the economic crises and wars we are witnessing today are not a sign that Jesus Christ has forsaken us, but a sign that Jesus is with us. and is just shaking the systems of today so that it is not only what cannot be shaken that will remain, according to Hebrews chapter 12 verse 27, and that will be God's kingdom fully established. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video or learned something, then I would greatly appreciate if you hit that like button down below and also that subscribe button so we can, grow this channel and reach more people. And finally, to click that notification bell down below so you'll always know when we come out with a new video. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.